Good morning and welcome to Yarn Lane. You can see how excited I am, can't you? Look, I've got the jumper. I'm going to give you a whole twirl. Look. These are already selling. I'm not surprised. So if I haven't told you already, which I've already told you many times this morning on Sewing Street, when I first met Sam and spoke to her and I saw a picture of her, she was wearing a granny square jumper and I said, you have got to do a pattern for that because I want it. So I really, really want the granny square jumper, so you've got to do the pattern for it. So she did, fantastic. And she came up with 3 colourways and they're all lovely. And then I was watching Celebrity Sewing Bee and Esme was wearing this crochet cardigan that got masses of appeal and likes and everyone loved it. It wasn't actually crochet, I think it might have been sequins. And so Sam did another colourway. For us. And Vix is modelling it. Are you going to come in? Shall I move out of the way? Oh, you can see you there. Oh, I don't have to move out of the way. So Vix is wearing the Esme-inspired colourway.
Isn't it gorgeous?
It looks so nice on you.
It's so comfortable as well. Snuggly,
and it fits over your bump.
Oh, yeah.
So that one's Brights, isn't it? Is that one called Brights?
We called that Retro Black.
Retro Black.
Yeah. Retro
Black. Sam is modelling the Nature colourway, which is my favourite. I'm in the blues.
Looking awkward.
I'm in the blues. See, I'm in the blues. And here, which is the bestseller, is the Brights, which is sort of purples and greens and blues. So if you want to buy one of these, they are going to sell out, I just know. Go onto the website, look there, see it says click watch live, scroll down. All the hooks are there. We'll talk about those in a minute. And there are all the jumpers. Your only difficulty is going to be choosing which colour, really, to be honest. Actually, this blue one does suit me, though. How am I going to do it? Maybe I'll have to get more than one. Please don't buy them all because I need one. So as far as sizes go, don't worry, there's just one kit that will fit every size. And Sam is going to explain to you, because we're going to have a long chat about it, how you change the pattern, how you adapt it to make it fit you. So whatever size you are, you just need the one kit. You've only got to choose the colour. And you get the instructions and the yarn in the kits, but not the hook. But that's because you might need to change them. So we'll talk about that in a minute. So let's quickly go through the kits. Which one shall we start with? Right, I'm going to start with this one, which is TPS653. This is the best selling. So this is the Brights that's behind me. So let me get it all out. You get this lovely, first of all, I've got to say, you get this lovely bag that has got printed on it, granny square jumper. So you can keep this as your project bag with everything that you need as you're crocheting it, and then when you finish you've got a drawstring bag. So look at all the yarn you get, look at all of this. I mean, it's amazing, isn't it? I cannot believe that this is only £34.99 because look at all of that, and it's really soft. It's just lovely. So in there you get all the yarn you know. How many balls are there, Sam?
18
balls of yarn. 18, and those are all the colours you need. And then you get the instructions, tells you everything you need to know, and then the hooks you get separately. So we didn't put the hooks in because a lot of people have got them already, but they are on the website, easy enough for you to buy. So half of the stock of this one is already gone, and this one, the Brights, makes this colourway behind me. So they've all got like a base colour, which is the colour that's between the squares, and for this one it's grey. But it's actually the other colours that stand out, isn't it?
It's funny, isn't it? They're the ones that pop.
When you look at the kits, you've got more grey than anything else.
That's right, but the other ones,
but the background
make
sort of
it work.
Seams,
yeah,
it?
Exactly.
It's lovely. So that's the Brights. I don't really want to put it all back because you know what's going to happen. I'll have to show it all. If only we had some nice wicker baskets to put it all in. But I'm going to just pile it because otherwise I'll have to empty it all again. So I'm just going to 18. Right, next, let's do my favourite. So, yes, this is the Nature Granny Square Jumper. I've got to just read the code out to Kat. PQS609. This is the one that Sam is wearing. This is lovely. So the base colour for this is that lovely milk chocolate. Can we have a twirl, please, Sam? Oh, look, it's the same on the back and the front. I love this one. This is really autumny. We were just talking about, you know, when you get your colours done and they tell you what you are. Kat hasn't had hers done. I'm an autumn, so maybe that's why I like this colour the best. So in it, again, you get your 18 balls. So that lovely chocolate is your background colour. And then you get this lovely, well, no, it's not a mint.
It's called sage,
It's
which
called
I think
sage.
is actually quite
Well
a good
done, Kat, just said
description.
sage.
Yeah.
And then you get, what's this one called?
Rust.
Rust, yeah, very rusty. So this is really rusty. Oh, you get 2 big balls of this of mustard. And then you get 4 balls of, it's interesting to see what they call them. Taupe.
Yes.
Taupe.
Beige,
So,
I think. but-
and obviously you get the instructions. And it all comes in the lovely bag, which has actually got a picture of it that says Granny Square Jumper Nature. So you can use that as your project. You can make it for somebody, give it as a gift in the bag. Although, to be honest, if I made this, there is no way I'm giving it to anyone. This is mine. No, absolutely no way. Oh, you can't see my picture. There we go. So there's the instructions. Everything you need to know is in there. So that's nature. That's kind of autumn colours. Oh, I'm going to get them mixed up, aren't I? We'll sort that out in a minute. Right, the next one is the one that I'm wearing. And this one is called the Blues. So I know what the background colour is in this because I'm wearing it. It's a very navy blue. Hang on, let me get it all out and then I'll give you a little twirl. Oh, almost half of the stock of this one is gone. So the background colour is called French Navy, which it is, I guess, isn't it? Yeah. It's not a really little twirl, buddy. I do like this one. I think, do you know what? I'm going to just have to buy whichever one's left, aren't I? I'm not going to get to choose. And I like this because it isn't it is French navy. It's not your really sort of dark midnight navy. So that's your main colour in there. And then you get, oh, this is a nice colour. What's this one called? Antique blue. Yeah, that's that bit there. And then this one is sage.
Yeah.
And that one is called sax. What does that mean?
No idea. Is it a flower? Might be a flower.
Maybe it's a flower, I don't know. And denim. So these are lovely shades of blue and green. This is beautiful. You just got to choose, really, what's your colourway? Which one do you like most? Yeah, Lindsay's just messaged saying she loves the design. She can't choose. Well, I'm with you, Lindsay. I'm with you. Because I really wanted the nature, but then I've put this one on and I really like this one. Yeah, and anyway, you're making, it's nice sometimes to wear something that isn't what you normally wear, colour. Now this is the extra one that I asked Sam to do after all this big furore over Esme's cardigan, which wasn't actually crochet. I think it was sequins.
I think it was something like that, yeah, something like sequins or beads.
But it looked like
just
crochet.
done to look like it.
So that is the one that's behind me here. So the background colour is black. Oh look, it twirls all on its own. It's dancing, and then it's got green, red, turquoise and yellow. I mean, look at these. This is super vibrant. This is very 60s, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
This is
just what a
festival.
granny square should be.
When I can go to Glastonbury again,
Yeah.
when it's actually open, I'm going to make it take with me. So the background in this is all black, as you can see, and then you get, so there's 18 balls again, you get the green, emerald, red, turquoise. And Melanie said, will we ever do the instructions on their own? Don't know. To be decided. We'll see how today goes. I don't know. And yellow, so really bright colours. So this is your really, it is very retro. And obviously full instructions, exactly how to make it, everything you need to know, and comes in the lovely bag that's actually got it's even got the right name on it. It says Granny Square Jumper Black Retro. So that's all of it. That's all of it. Now we've also got, yes, this yarn is washable. Have you ever tried washing?
Not this specific jumper, but I do wash my crochet jumpers, and I mean, ideally on a hand wash or wool wash.
Okay.
But I do throw mine in the washing machine with everything else. Got lots of children, so I don't have time
Yeah.
for
And it's
delicate washes.
fine?
They come out fine.
Wow.
Sew your ends in well, that's the only thing. And if your ends are sewn in well, it'll be fine. It's acrylic, so it
Yes,
is washable.
yeah.
But that's
And
the great
that's the
thing
best
about
thing,
it. Is you want to be able to
isn't it?
wear it and wash
You
it.
do want to be able to wash it,
Yeah,
don't you?
yeah.
And it is ever so soft.
It does feel really nice, doesn't it? Really comfy and
Yeah, it is a real sort of, well, I sort of feel like it's one you want to chuck on, you know, to keep warm in the evening. But then
Yeah.
it's actually a real fashion
it
statement
is.
piece, isn't
It
it?
is, yeah.
It's the sort
I
of thing
I think so.
you wear and everyone goes, where did you get that from?"
Definitely. Definitely.
Where did you get
yeah.
that?
And will
You're
you
gonna
make
see-
me one, probably?
Yes, and can you make me one? Yes, so the bright one, which is this one, is there's only 2 left in stock of that one.
Oh, gosh.
So if you want it, you need to, and it's in your basket, you need to check out. Otherwise, it will be gone. Oh, Vanessa says she loves these. The purple one is amazing. I don't think I'd have been able to predict which was the most popular, actually.
No.
Don't know.
No,
I
that's
still
it.
think nature. I
Yeah.
think nature might be the one that I will be getting. All the hooks you need are also on the website. So if you just scroll down, you'll see them. I've put in the clover crochet hooks for this because I really like them. These are the ones that I use. So they're nice. There's soft touch hooks. They're really nice to crochet with. I find that the hooks on them are really sort of definite, and I like the sort of the flat edges as well. So that's all the kit's doing. All you've got to do is choose the colour. You don't need to choose the size, but you can't have the brights one because it's sold out.
Oh, gosh.
So you can only have nature, blue, and black. Black retro is the only one you can have. Okay, so welcome, Sam.
Thank you.
So excited about Granny Square Jumper
Yeah,
Day.
this has been really exciting, build up to this.
I'm so looking forward to this. So, explain a bit about the pattern and the sizing.
Okay, so I've included in the kits all the yarn you need to make the biggest size. But
Right.
I've written the pattern so that there's 2 broad sizes. You've got the small, medium, and then you've got large, extra large.
Right.
So small, medium, I would say would fit anyone from an 8 to around about a 16.
Okay.
And then the large, extra large, 16 up to around about a 22, possibly a bit bigger.
So that's a really
So
nice
you've got
size
the
range,
two,
isn't
yeah,
it?
exactly. So hopefully it should fit everybody. And then within that, I've also included some instructions in the pattern for how to adjust it as you go along, so you can make it fit yourself exactly.
That's brilliant.
So,
isn't it?
you know, if you think, well, my hips tend to be a bit wide, you can adjust it as you go along to make it fit yourself. So, yeah,
And it's great
hopefully
because
that'll
I've
be-
discovered that my arms are a whole granny square shorter than Sam's, because that's so when I make mine, look, it's a whole granny square too long. That's really weird. Actually, we're going to measure ourselves in granny squares from now on.
Yeah.
I am 4 granny squares sleeve long. So when I do mine, you see, I will only do 3, not 4. And I'll have a bit of yarn left over as well. So I'm
Yeah,
making another one.
exactly. That's it. Yeah, or something
So
to
because you've
match.
got enough for the biggest size, but you can adjust it.
You can adjust. It's really easy to change. So the basic principle of the jumper is you've got 4 rectangles. So once you've made all your granny squares, you make loads of granny squares.
Yeah.
You join them together and then you'll end up with 4 rectangles. So you'll have the front, the back and one for each of the arms. And what I would suggest you do then is stitch marker them together or pin, but I love using stitch markers for that.
Right.
And then try it on. And then you can adjust it. So I'll talk you through it a little bit later how you can do that. But you can adjust it to fit yourself. So for example, as with Rebecca's, if you want one granny square shorter, you can easily change that.
Arms, and I've sort of folded mine up a bit as well. So, but that's great. So the shorter you are, the more yarn you get.
Exactly, yeah.
So we start with the square.
Yes, so you're starting with a square. So it's a circle in a square. So it's
Okay.
not a standard granny
No, that's
square,
different.
it's
I
a bit
haven't done one of
different.
those.
It's a little bit like a floral kind of shape. So the pattern is to make a circle in a square. And the reason I've suggested so many different hook sizes is it would depend on your tension as to which hook size you will need. So
Right.
you might not realise that until you get your yarn and start making it, but you might already have a good idea, because some people, when they're working with their crochet, they know that their makes tend to come out a bit bigger and therefore they'll go down a hook size, or they might know they tend to come out a bit smaller and
So
therefore
it
go
is
up a
worth
hook
having a
size.
few hooks.
I
then.
think it definitely, if you're new to crochet, buy a set of hooks because you will
Right.
need the other hooks.
Yeah, and we do on the website. We do have sets of all the hooks, or you can buy them. Oh, this one is now sold out.
Oh,
So you can't
that's
have
great.
blue. So it's either the black retro or nature. That's fine because nature's the one I want.
Keep one back of those. So what you need to do when you're at home and you're making your granny square, when you finish your first one, measure it. And I've got a tape measure here. So these have been blocked, so they're possibly a little bit wider than when you measure it. So before you block it, just measure it across. You're looking for approximately 12 centimetres across.
Right.
If it comes out a bit bigger than that, you'll need to go down a hook size.
Okay.
And if it comes out a bit smaller, go up a hook size. Otherwise, your jumper's just going to end up a bit bigger or smaller.
So
than
you
mine.
just keep doing until
Yeah,
you get
so
it the right
I would
size.
so make one. Doesn't take too long to make one, and then just measure it to check. Or if you don't want to change your hook size, just bear in mind yours might end up being a bigger jumper or a smaller jumper.
Okay, that's
So
fine, but it's worth doing
It's where
that.
I would always suggest when you're making clothes, there's often a sort of tension gauge in there, but with this I've done 1 square as the tension gauge. So just have a little check. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's just a few millimetres either way, but if it's a whole centimetre or two, then that's when you might want to change hook.
Okay.
So that's a good starting point.
And it says all this in the instructions.
So there's all of that in the
Cool.
instructions.
You haven't got to remember that.
No, you don't need to remember it. It's all in there. Okay, so I use a 4mm hook. So if your tension tends to come out fairly average, you'll need a 4 and a 3mm hook for this. So your 4 for most of the jumper and 3 I'll show you later is for the edging.
Right, for these cuffy bits.
Yeah, exactly. So shall I start demonstrating it?
Yes, go for it.
So you're going to start with the very centre of the circle. And
So everything is sold out except for the nature now.
Oh,
That's good.
how
That's
lovely.
good. That's what I want.
They're just being kind to you.
They're being kind because they know I want one.
So you're going to start with a little foundation chain. So shall I do slip knot?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
start off for beginners.
this is a really achievable jumper. So if you're fairly new to crochet, this is definitely something you can make. So if you've not tried clothes before, it's a really good introduction because it's such a straightforward make. So I'll just, for those that might be fairly new that are trying it, I'm just going to give you a demonstration of how to make your slip stitch. So you're going to get your tail in the palm of your hand, loop the other end over, put your hook through from the front and grab that ball end that's over your fingers. Just pull it through so you've got a loop and pull everything to tighten it. So if you've got your own way of doing a slip knot, that's absolutely fine, but this is just to show people that maybe are new to it.
Okay.
Tighten it up a bit by pulling the end of the yarn and just keep that loop on your hook fairly loose. And then you're going to grab the tail. I'll go through this quite quickly because I know I've demonstrated it slowly a lot of times in the past, but just grab the tail and then bring your hook hand over your other hand, so over your little finger and under, up over the next, and then twist your hand so your thumb, which is pointing up at the moment, points down, and push back with your middle or your first finger on this piece of yarn to give yourself a bit of tension. Drop the tail and hold that with your finger and your thumb, and you're ready to start making your chains. So I've said this a lot of times when I've been on before, but if you're new to crochet, just practice making your chains before you do your project.
Okay.
So grab your yarn with your hook, so your hook goes down to the left here, half a twist, and pull it through that loop on your hook, and that is one chain made. So for this pattern, you make a chain of 4, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So you've got your little chain of 4. But as I say, if you're new to it, just sit and practice that before you go any further because that will help with your hold and your tension. So that's my chain 4. And now I'm going to make this into a little circle. So I need to find the first chain, which is one right next to the slip knot. So that's this one here. Put my hook just underneath that top loop of it. And I'm making a slip stitch. So grabbing the yarn, bring it back through that loop and the loop on my hook to secure it. And doing that, you've made a tiny circle. So you might need to pull it around a bit just to make sure that you can see the centre of it. So if I just show you, if you pull it there.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, you can see the centre. Okay, so that's going to be the very centre of the circle. And we're now going to make trebles into that circle. So you chain 3 in the air. So grab your yarn again. 1, 2, 3. And then you're going to work into this ring. So just keep your eye on where that ring is, where the hole in the middle is. And you're going to make trebles into that ring. So a little tip is to lay this tail around the chain as you work. And so when you make your trebles, you work underneath the chain and the tail. And then at the very end, when you've got all of your trebles in the ring, you can pull that tail to tighten it and it closes up the hole.
Oh, that's a good idea. I've not done that. I like that
So
tip.
that's a little tip there. So yarn over for your treble and then into the ring, pull the yarn back through, gives you 3 loops on your hook. Grab yarn, come through 2, grab yarn, come through 2. So far I've got my chain 3 and 1 treble in that little ring there. And as you make your stitches in the ring, it will stretch out a bit. So that's why it's useful to go around the chain and the tail when you make your stitches, because then you can close it.
Gives it a bit of stability.
Exactly. So then I'll make a few more. So yarn over into that ring, pull the yarn back through, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. Keep going like that.
So are you on a 4mm?
So I'm using my 4mm hook now.
Okay.
So unless you've decided you've made a sample square and decide to go up or down, you should be using your 4 as well.
4mm is your sort of middle of the
4mm
road.
is your kind of, what you would normally use with double knit.
Right,
So,
okay.
and the same sort of guide for you at home. If you'd normally use a bigger hook for a double knit or a smaller hook, then make that adjustment. So you're just going to keep going around until you've made...
So Claire has messaged in, fab design as usual, Sam.
Oh, that's nice.
And
Thanks,
Helen's
Claire.
messaged in, she's bought the blue, and she said she'll see you Saturday.
Oh, brilliant. I thought Helen might buy the blue. That's my
Yes.
Saturday club. I'll see Helen at.
She said see you on Saturday. Oh, well, she might have finished it by then.
She might be wearing it, you never know. We could have a whole club of people wearing
I think
matching
you can only
jumpers.
let them in if they've got the, it's like a badge, isn't
Yeah,
it?
that's it. Show you belong. Okay, so you'll do that until you've got, you'll end up with 16 trebles in the ring, and you'll slip stitch it. So you'll end up with a little circle like that of your trebles. Okay. And I'll just show you how on the back there, I can pull that tail, and where I've worked around the tail and the chain, it tightens it.
Yeah, no,
So
that was really
it's quite
effective.
good,
I like
isn't it?
that.
Yeah.
It's lovely. Because it gives it's a really nice solid centre.
Yeah,
as well,
exactly,
isn't it?
exactly.
I think
So-
maybe it's where, because that is so solid, it's where things, the other colours don't show up as much, isn't it? You know, by the
Yes.
background colour, because the others are so sort of vibrant.
It's those circles in the
solid.
middle that kind of pop
Yeah,
out,
it
isn't
is,
it?
isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, they do look lovely.
How do you choose what you're going to put in what order? Because all your squares are different.
Yeah, so there's, in the pattern, you've got 3 squares for each design.
Right,
So each
okay.
design's got 3 colourways of your squares, so it tells you in the pattern which order to use them in. So you've got colourway 1, 2 and 3, and you make a certain number in each colourway.
Otherwise you run out if you
Yeah,
make it up.
exactly.
Right,
So it
okay.
tells you how many squares exactly to make for the 2 different sizes.
Right.
And
okay.
actually, it looks like loads of different colourways, but there's only 3 colourways in each jumper.
Oh, it's
so
sold out. It's sold out.
Oh.
Oh. I'm very disappointed.
I'll be rummaging
now.
through my yarn at home to see if I can make you a kit.
Could you have a little look through your garage for me, Sam? Okay. Right. So,
Okay.
right, so for everyone who's bought one, well done. We will
That's
try and
great,
bring them
thank
back.
you.
We will. Because I knew they'd be popular, but not quite as
That's brilliant
popular we do
news.
like this.
That's
But we
so
will.
great.
We will be getting them back. So we'll ask Sam when we can get some more and when we can have her back on. So don't worry. Don't worry.
Oh, that's great.
But that's
Okay.
good. Right. So next.
So next, oops, wrong hook. So continuing on with this idea of making a circle in the ring, for the next round, so this one I started with purple, so the next colour is blue. So the next round is clusters. So I just wanted to show you how to make a cluster.
Okay.
So-
It's good I can look at my jumper while you're doing
Yeah,
it. So
see which bits
that's
it
the
is.
next one.
Yes, so it looks like sort of rays of a sun, I think, this round. So choose a stitch, it doesn't matter which, and put your hook through it. So the V's, when you've worked in a circle, the V's will be sloped upwards. So make sure you push your hook underneath the front strand of the V and the one behind. So you have to kind of push your hook up at an angle, which can sometimes throw people. And then you're going to join your next colour. Let's see if I can find the end of it. Oh, getting in a knot, hang on. Give me a moment, what's gone on there? I'm going to do a naughty thing and just snip that off.
That's a naughty thing.
A naughty thing, don't
copy
do that. It's a
Don't do
waste
that
of your
at
yarn.
home. Yeah, don't
Don't try that at home.
Yeah, do not try this at home. Always unknot your yarn.
Yeah. Okay. And so you get your new yarn and you pull through a loop of that colour through your stitch, and you make one chain to secure it. And then you can pull your tail behind it just to tighten it up.
Yeah, I think you need to move over just
Oh yeah, sorry.
crashing.
Yeah.
That's fine. Lovely. I think you just crash with the graphics.
Okay. So then you're going to do, with this pattern...
Okay. So just keep an eye on the website, because things do move about what colours we've got and what colours we haven't. Because we've now got one blue available. I don't know why, but it will. So, but just keep an eye on the website if there is one that you want, because sometimes people have got them in their baskets and then they're not in their basket. So just keep an eye on it as you're watching Sam, and then you might be able to just get one. Okay.
Okay, so you're going to do a chain of 3 and 1 treble in the same place as you've slip stitched. So this is a pretend cluster. So you always start with a pretend cluster. So because you do your chain 3 and then 1 treble. Okay. And then you do a chain 1 in the air. And then you find your next stitch along, and you're going to make a cluster in there.
Okay.
So to make a cluster, it's a 2 treble cluster. So you put yarn over, go into that stitch, pull the yarn back through as if you're starting a treble. And then you grab the yarn and come through the first 2 loops. So that's just exactly as if you're starting a treble, but then you don't finish your treble, you start a second treble in the same place. So yarn over again, back into that same stitch, pull the yarn back through. So you've now got 4 loops on your hook. And then you grab the yarn and come through the first 2 of them, leaving you with 3 loops. And then you grab the yarn again and come through the last 3.
Okay. So why do you do clusters rather than, because like the next row is trebles?
Yeah, that's so it just I like the look of it, because it makes it shapes it at the top, so it gives it a sort of petal look.
Yeah, I'm just showing you on that. Yeah, because it is more an oval shape.
Instead of having just 2 trebles in a row, it is an oval shape. So it's actually like the same way that you would do a decrease if you're trebling 2
I
together.
really like it because it makes it different to the traditional granny
exactly.
square, isn't it? Oh, I like
so it gives you that sort of sun ray look to it because of the, like you say, the
lovely,
oval shape of it.
Mm.
Yeah. So, and then you chain 1, and then you do that again. So you're going to do clusters, 2 treble clusters all the way around, and that stitch is described in the pattern. So if you forget, you've got it in there. Do you want me to go over that again, or is that okay?
No, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine, because we can watch back, and if anyone's bought the kit, you can go back onto YouTube. I know, and all the instructions are in there.
Exactly, they're all in there. Yeah. So you do a whole round of that, and then here's one I made earlier. So that's the blue round.
Right. Okay.
Sorry, camera, I'm throwing you there.
Sorry. It's just what you
I'm
do
going up and down.
It really upsets him. You just keep moving it really fast.
So the 2 treble clusters we just did were these blue ones here.
Okay.
Then you do another round, and as you said, this is the 3 trebles.
So yeah, that's your sort of traditional.
So just standard, like you would, for a normal granny square, just standard groups of 3 trebles.
I love that green. It's lovely, isn't it?
It's really lovely, isn't it? And then you can see you've got your circle. So it's, this is where it's a true circle at the moment. And the next round is going to make it into a square. So that's the tricky bit when you're turning your circle into a square.
Right, yeah.
Do you want me to demonstrate the beginning of that?
Yes.
Okay, so...
I haven't done that before.
So you've done your first 3 rounds, and that's all very straightforward. So you've done your trebles, your clusters, your sets of 3. And then for your next round, you'll join your 4th colour into any of the spaces between groups of 3 trebles. So find your little group of 3, any of those spaces. So put your yarn, sorry, not your yarn, your hook just through the hole, and then grab a loop of the yarn, put it through and make your chain 1. So joining in the same way as before. That's just a joining chain. And then we're going to shape it. So what you're going to do is you're going to do a chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's pretending to be a double treble. So then you're going to make a double treble into there. Now, double treble is a taller stitch than a treble.
And this is UK, isn't it?
And this is UK terms, exactly. So you do yarn over twice, go into that space, pull the yarn back through, and you can see you've then got 4 loops on your hook.
Okay.
So for a double treble, you go yarn over and through 2 of them, yarn over through the next 2, and yarn over through the final 2.
That's a really tall one.
It's a really tall stitch, and that's what's going to bring
Double
the
treble.
corners out to make it into a square shape.
So is that where your sort of tension goes can be a bit different.
Yes,
Because you've
yes,
got
because
a
you've got
tall
a lot of
stitch.
loops and
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So so just be aware of your tension as you're making it.
So the corners are done with higher stitches, and that's what turns
it into a square, exactly.
Oh, I like that.
So you've got your...
I couldn't work out how it works.
Yeah,
despite
it's
the fact
clever,
I
isn't
do
it? The
crochet.
shaping of it. So in here I've put my chain 4 and 2 double trebles, and now I'm putting a chain 2 space and another 3 double trebles.
We've got a question. What's the
Okay.
question? Will we ever do what? Do you mean Tunisian? Tunisian on the show? Well, yes, we will do actually, because I was talking to one of our designers who talked to me about it, and she wants to do a pattern for one. So yes, I've never done Tunisian crochet. Have you?
A bit,
Have
yeah,
you?
a bit.
Is it
It's a whole
different?
different technique,
Is
really.
it?
I mean, there's some bits of overlap, and obviously
Okay.
you're using a crochet hook, but yeah, and it's a little bit more like knitting, I would say.
Oh,
but
okay.
yeah, in terms of the
Yeah, no,
outcome.
we've done
But
everything. We've
it's
done
good, yeah.
tatting. Why not Tunisian crochet? Yes,
Yeah.
and when I have been talking to one of the designers who's interested in doing it, so and I'd
Yeah,
like to do it because I
sounds
haven't done it
good.
before.
Yeah, it sounds really fun. Okay, so once you've done this corner with your double trebles, you're then going to do groups of normal trebles, and so that gives you the idea
Yes.
of how you shape it. So you're putting your 3 trebles now, just normal trebles, in between your 3 treble groups, like you would normally for a granny square now. So just gives you the idea of how you shape it into a square. So you can see you've got that straight edge there and then your corner, and on this finished one
Lovely.
here you can
Oh,
see
yeah, perfect.
how the double trebles make it into
And
a corner.
doesn't it completely changes colour? Doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it's every time you add a round, it
so
changes the way
odd.
it looks. It's
That-
really funny.
That green
yeah.
looked quite teal,
Yes.
and now it's gone brighter again.
That's the really strange thing about when you're choosing colours, because you put them together and you think, oh gosh, it looks so different every round I do.
Yeah, completely.
So-
And then I guess now the next one you're going to put grey in,
And then you always edge every square in your
and now it's
grey.
changed colour again.
Yeah.
Weird.
So you've got, where you've done that shaping for that 4th round, you've got a really clear circle in the middle of your square shape, which I love. So every
That's nice, isn't
every
it?
square, you always edge it in grey, and then when you come to do your joins, they're invisible.
Yeah, so you always do the background colour on
Exactly.
everything, which is why you
That's
have
why
so
you've got
much more of it.
Exactly. Yeah, that's
Okay.
it. Yeah, that's it.
Right, so how many, so you've got to do, well, as many of those.
It will be, yeah, so it varies according to what size you're making. So you've got the small, medium, where you make a certain number.
Yeah.
And then the large, extra large.
Where you make
So,
more.
yeah, exactly. But you can also play about with it. So for the sleeves,
Like me.
let's just give you a little look at the pattern. So at the back here, I've
If you're
done
5'1", you
grids.
only need 3.
Yeah. We're probably a few granny squares different in height
we
as
are.
well, to be fair.
So like horses and hands.
Yeah, exactly.
Crochet
It's
as
a new way
measuring
of
granny.
measuring.
Like a brand new quote.
Exactly.
Crochets as measuring granny squares.
Yeah. So on this pattern here, you've got the grids at the back. They're the same for every pattern. Shows you how to lay it out. So for your sleeves, I've done them 4 squares by 3. So if you're 5'1", like Rebecca, you're just going to want your 3 squares by 3.
okay.
So, but you can try it on as you go.
Yeah, so you could make some more.
Exactly.
If you thought, actually, I want them to be longer.
So yeah,
quite
so I'm
cosy,
5'8",
actually,
if that helps for everyone to
Right.
know.
So you'll have 4
And they
square
fit me
arms
perfectly,
if you're
and I often
5'8".
find with
But you
clothes
see, look at mine.
Yeah. So yeah, so the brilliant thing is you can adjust that as you're going along.
Which is fab. And
Yeah.
there's enough yarn in it as well to do that.
exactly. So shall I move
Yeah,
on to
next,
showing
yeah.
joins and things?
Yeah, because that's
Okay.
really, because some people sew and some people crochet, don't
Yes. So I have actually put in the pattern, when it comes to joining them, there's 3 ways of joining. So use the way that you like doing. You can sew, slip stitch, or double crochet.
they? Right, now we have
So-
got the needles, I think. Have we got those? We haven't got the. If you have a look on the website, we do wool needles, and I like these because they have like a loop.
Oh, I
on
like
them.
those
They're
ones.
not normal needles.
No, they have sort of a little loop of, sort
like
of plastic wire type
Yeah, they're
thing.
called
It's-
3
yeah.
wool needles, and they have like a loop of. Yeah, that's them. That's them. They have and they're different sizes, but there's a loop of. I don't know,
Yeah, it's
plastic
really
or
easy to
something.
thread.
So
yeah.
they're easy to
Like-
thread.
Yeah,
But if you haven't used those, they're brilliant.
they are
I
really
love
good.
them.
They are, yeah, people
They're
love
knit
those.
pro as well.
And which I think is what my hooks are,
Yeah.
which I've just discovered, and I love them.
Yeah, they're really lovely. I like knit pro ones, and I like.
I
these
love the clover
ones.
as well. Got a clover and more set at home.
I know.
So before you join them all, you might want to block them. You don't have to block.
What does that mean?
So it means that basically it's shaping them. So
Right.
the principle behind blocking is that you wet them and then you pin them into shape and let them air dry. So you can do that with a mister, like a plant mister, and then
Yeah.
just lay them out on a towel and pin them. Or I do it with an iron. So I just hold my iron. Now these are acrylics, you don't want to touch the iron to them.
Okay.
But you hold the iron, fill it up with water, hold it on its steam setting about an inch above and steam it. And the yarn just changes texture. It all kind of eases. And then you can just pull the corners.
So you could pull them out to 12 centimetres
Exactly.
if they were just slightly off.
Yeah, and it's
Not if they're 15, maybe
no,
not.
but if they're just 11 and a half or whatever, and you might find that as you're making them, there's some you might make that are turning out bigger than others. So it's just a way of making them all the same shape.
Okay.
So and just also sometimes you might find so if I show you this one that's not blocked, it's curled a bit on the corner there. So it just sort of...
Because we have got blocking boards as well.
They're brilliant.
They're really
yeah.
good. So I think they are on the website, Clover blocking boards, and that they are made specifically for this
Yes,
job.
yeah, exactly. And so if you're using those
There they
and do it
are.
all absolutely...
Blocking board with 12
Those are
pins.
brilliant. You've got those little
they
wooden
good?
dowels that you then put you mist it or steam it, and then you put it over the dowels so you can adjust it on that board you just
Right.
showed us. And the dowels go in the corners, and then every one sort of sets to the same size.
So if you've already bought a kit with us there or anything and you want that, it's only 1 P&P a day, remember. So if you think, oh, actually, I like those wool needles or I need a blocking board, put them in because that's really heavy because that's solid wood and you won't have to pay any more. But I guess what you could do is you can block them as you go along then, can't you?
Yeah, exactly.
So and leave them, how long
Yeah.
do they take to dry?
If you've done it if you've steamed them, literally an hour, if
Oh,
that.
okay.
But if you've properly wet them overnight, I would say.
So if you block them as you go along, by the time you finish.
Exactly.
So for granny squares, it's worth having a blocking
Yeah,
board.
definitely. And with that board you just showed, you can change the size of it and things because you put the dowels in.
Oh, okay.
And it would. So you put the dowels in the little holes you can see.
Yeah.
And according to the size you want, so you can measure your 12 by 12 centimetres.
I'm going to have to get one of those. I use my ironing board
good,
and
aren't they?
pins, but that's much
Yeah,
better,
and then you
isn't it?
stack them up on the dowels. So although it doesn't look like you might have space, you stack them up on top of each
Oh,
other.
I see.
Is that trying
Oh, so
to
you
sort
get
of
your whole,
describe
you get
it?
your whole jumper on
So you
there
could
then.
get your whole jumper on there. Yeah.
Perfect. I'm
Okay.
going to have to get one of those.
It does make all the difference, the blocking. Okay, so once you've blocked it, you're then going to join them. So just to give you an oversight of how you join them, look at the grids that I showed you that are on the back 2 pages,
Okay.
and then I join them in strips. So you're going to join it. So if you take, say, shall I quickly show one of the, say you're doing, this is actually a sleeve, so let's show you a sleeve. So I've done the first 2 rows there and I have joined them together. So I'm now working on the 3rd row.
Oh,
So I'm
okay.
going square by square along the row.
Oh, so they sort of go
So they're like
diagonally.
scarves almost, yeah. So
It's funny because of it doesn't look like that on any of the jumpers. It doesn't look like it's.
it's amazing,
Diagonally,
isn't it?
is it, at
Yeah, I was so
all?
pleased with how they turned out because
Yeah.
you're quite right, that is how they go. They go diagonally.
Yeah, but none of them look like that.
yeah,
It does look
it's
more
funny,
random.
isn't it?
Now you
Although-
pointed it out. No, but even that,
Let
I
me
think
just
because
work
the
out where
colours
that
are,
goes.
the way you've chosen the colours, they work so well together that it doesn't
Yeah,
look like
they're
that.
really good, aren't they? Well, my friend Claire, who actually made the grey jumper, helped me with the colours. She's very good at
Oh,
colours.
did she? Is Claire going to be allowed to have it back?
Yes.
Oh,
My-
lucky Claire.
No, actually, Claire made the blue one. I do apologise.
Sorry.
And my friend Sam made the grey one.
and
they
Claire's
are
having.
getting
Sorry,
them.
Claire. Sorry.
Sorry, Claire. Yeah.
Sort of really looks nice.
So thank you to them, and they will get those back after the
Okay,
show.
Claire,
so
I
they're
promise,
desperate for
yeah.
them, I think.
You can have it back. I've only worn it for an hour.
But it
and I
was
washed
Claire
in
that
the
helped me with
shower
the
this morning.
colours. Okay. Just to give you the idea that you're joining them in strips. So I've joined the first 2 of the 3rd strip of the sleeve, and I'm ready to join this one, which has got the purple centre. So I'm going to show you double crocheting, but do whichever. If you are experienced at making clothes and you normally sew or slip stitch, please do that. But if you're new to it, I'll show you how to double crochet.
Yeah, no, I'd like to know how to do that.
So you put them right sides facing. So this one's going to go on top of that, like you would with sewing, right sides facing.
Is it?
So-
Yeah, it's obvious which is the right
Yeah,
side.
so
isn't it?
I always work in the same direction. So your right side's got all of the V's looking up
Yeah.
at you, and the wrong side just looks a bit bumpier.
It does. Yeah.
Okay, so put them on there, lined up, and we're going to join down here. and you want to start with the corner. So you're going to put your hook through the corner spaces of both of them and join your colour, which is going to be the grey. So the same way of joining, pull the yarn back through, make one loop, one chain, and then you're going to make a double crochet in that same space. So put your hook through there, pull the yarn back through and go through both. So with a double crochet, you go into the space, pull the yarn back through and go through 2 loops. And then you're going to double crochet all the way along here, putting a double crochet through each stitch of one square and the corresponding stitch behind.
And do you go through both loops?
Going through both loops of the V. No, just both loops of the V. So nice firm join. So go underneath both strands of the V of the first stitch and both strands of the V of the block behind. So you've gone underneath 4 strands effectively. Okay.
And still using the same hook that you did the rest of you?
Oh, yes. I thought I'd gone wrong there. Yes, still using the same hook. I had a moment of, oh, no.
No, it's the rib,
it's
isn't
still,
it?
It's the rib that's different. So still the 4mm hook. So pull the yarn back through, gives you 2 loops on your hook, yarn over through 2. And you're going to work along, doing the same thing through both sides of the square, so through the V of the first stitch and the V of the stitch behind. Sometimes you might find you get out of sync. Don't panic, just undo it and redo it, because I did that a few times. So you're going to go into every stitch along, and when you get to the chain 2 space at the end, you also put a double crochet in.
Okay.
So every time you get to a chain 2 space, you'll put a double crochet in it, just the one. And I say that because I'll just do a few more to hold it in place. So you can sort of, in the end, you start to instinctively feel where they go.
Right, you know where it is. But so the hooks that we've got on there is the clover ones that I really like. If you like the one that Sam is using, those are on the website as well, because we've got both of them. Those are called the Zing.
I treated myself to a whole set. I've never used them before.
The Zing?
Yeah, and I treated myself about a month ago, and they are lovely.
They're lovely. So
really
I like the clover ones we've got there. Sam likes the Zing, but
yeah, I like the clover too.
If you put in Zing on the website, look, there they are. And the nice thing about the Zing is that there's different sizes, different colours.
Yes, exactly. They're just really nice to hold.
I've bought. Yeah, not personally, I've ordered. We have the knitting needles and the circular and everything in the Zing, because I like the colourways. And we've got sets of Zing crochet hooks and sets of Zing knitting needles as well.
Set coming
there
up
they are,
now.
look at that. Is that the one you bought?
Yes, it comes in that case.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Ooh. So actually, if you aren't sure about your hook size and you need to change, it's worth getting the whole set.
I would. I think if you're new to crochet, you really need a set. Before you know it, you'll be needing a different hook size for something. It's definitely worth buying a set, definitely. Okay, so you can see how I've just opened this up now, and I haven't finished, but you can see how you get the join there.
It's really neat, isn't it?
It is neat,
and it doesn't look like wrong side either, does it?
No, exactly. So the double crochet, strangely, is on the inside.
Yes,
but
it is, isn't it?
the effect of it is on the outside. So, and you know, if you crochet, it's just such a relief to not have to sew it together. It's so quick.
Hate sewing it together.
So much better.
It's nicer to do that, isn't it?
In my opinion, anyway.
I guess, everyone has their own.
Everyone has their own way, exactly.
Try it.
There's no wrong, but yeah. So when you've got your fourth one joined like so, which is your last strip.
Right. So you join all the rows together.
So you make your, exactly.
The row.
And then you'll put this on top of here and work along joining this whole row.
Right.
So exactly the same technique. So you'll join it in the corner, make one double crochet in there, and then one double crochet.
Do you pin it or anything? So make sure it...
You can do, but I don't, to be honest. I just go along the way it's looking. So if you hold it corner to corner, you can see your little groups of 3.
Yeah.
But you can pin it if it makes you, if it gives you security that you're going in the right
place. You could use like fabric clips for that.
Yeah, when I'm doing crochet projects, I use these stitch markers.
Oh, yeah.
So I use them like pins. So when it comes to the fit...
Yeah, because I've tried pins and they sort of disappear.
Yeah, and they hurt when you're trying it on.
Yeah, they do.
But so if you're, as I said earlier, when you've got them all assembled into your squares, so you'll end up with them all assembled in your rectangles or squares, depending which pattern you're doing. You'll have 4 of these. So this one is a sleeve. You'll have two sleeves and a front and a back.
Yes.
Then lay it all out following the instructions and pin it, and this is where I would use the stitch markers, because they're like little safety pins.
We have got packs of stitch markers on the website. Just have a look.
So pin it together and try it on. And then if it doesn't fit, or you want it to, so for example, you might even want to do this before with the sleeves, before you assemble it all. You might want to lose a granny square like you suggest with the sleeves. Or you might decide you need a little bit more width in it. I have written into the pattern, if you get to that stage and you try it on and you want it a bit wider, how to do that. So the one you're wearing there,
yeah, that's
Claire,
got like a
she did some half trebles down
I'll put my arm up.
And this is written into the pattern. So she put it on and thought, oh, I want it a little bit wider, but not a whole granny square wider.
So that just gave that little
little bit of room. So that's all written in the pattern.
Doing it again.
So that's a great thing that you can make it fit yourself.
So if the stitch markers, we've got they're called quick locking stitch markers. That's the ones you need. $14.99. How many's in that pack? Lots. Oh, quite a lot then. 10 small, 20 medium and 6 large. So that's enough to be able to pin it together.
Definitely.
Right.
Yeah, you only need a few. And that just gives you the opportunity to play about with how it fits you.
Yeah, without getting pins stuck into
Exactly. And just put the whole, you can see what it will look like. The whole thing, you put it on and see, which is also quite motivating when you get to the end of a project and think, oh, just need to assemble it now.
I always know when I'm knitting a jumper and I put the sleeve and I think, oh, look, I've got to there.
Yeah.
What do you think that looks like?
Exactly. Put it up your arm. Yeah. So the other thing I quickly wanted to demonstrate, if I've got time, was the edging.
Got about 5 minutes.
Okay.
I think.
So the whole thing is edged in this ribbing,
which I thought was knitting.
It looks like knitting.
Looks like knitting, doesn't
it? So it doesn't need it. I mean, you can have it without the edging, but I just wanted to pull it all in together. It gives it a kind of, I think, quite a professional finish.
It does. Yeah, I see what you mean. So you don't have to have it, but
no,
it does
you
give
could
it
just leave it with the raw edge of your granny squares. It still looks nice,
but it's a nice finish.
Yeah, exactly. So this is where you go down a hook size, and you'll put it around the edges of the sleeves and around the bottom of the jumper. So the way you do it is you start at the corner. So obviously with the sleeve you'll have assembled it first, so you'll be working in a circle. This happens at the very end of making your jumper. You'll have assembled the whole thing.
Will have finally decided how big it is.
Yeah, exactly. You've committed yourself to size, and you've
because there's no going back. Well, you could undo it.
Well, yeah. Okay, so you're going to join your main colour, although, see what you've got left over. There's nothing to stop you doing these edges in different colours.
Oh, yeah, that's
You need
true.
about 150-gram ball of wool to do all the edging, maybe a bit less than that. So if you've got like...
But you could have one different one for each sleeve.
You could, yeah, exactly. So join your yarn in the corner, and then you're going to do a chain. So for the sleeves, I've done a chain of 6, and for the... I'm going to do 6 here. For the edges of the jumper at the bottom, I've done a chain of 4, so it's a narrow edging at the bottom.
Oh, okay.
If you've got lots of yarn left, there's nothing to stop you making that edging bigger.
Right.
So just see what yarn you've got left. It'll depend on...
the same.
Yes, that was the same. Yes, that's it.
Claire's done hers
the same. She had more yarn.
I know
left
this jumper
over.
very well.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So do 6 chains, and then you're going... So this might be a new technique to you. You've got your chain sticking out from the edge of the jumper, and you're going to make double crochets back down these chains. So you skip the first chain, which is the one the yarn's coming out of there, and then you're making double crochets into each chain along. So that's the one where you don't put yarn over first, go into the chain, pull the yarn back through and go through the 2. So all the way back down. So that's going to give you 5 where you skipped the first one. Whoops. So this might feel a bit more fiddly because you're working with a smaller hook, but it just gives it a nice finish. Then when you've gone back all the way along and you've made your 5 double crochets, slip stitch in the next stitch along, chain 1, and now you're going to work all the way back along here, and you're going to make double crochets in the back loop. Okay,
Right.
So this is my chain 1, this is my slip stitch. So my first one is here. So every V is made of a front loop and a back loop. You've got your 2 strands of your V. So it's the one that's furthest from you. So going only under 1 strand, put your hook under, pull the yarn back through, yarn over through the 2. And again, under just 1 loop. That's what gives it the ribbing look. So that's what gives it that kind of zigzaggy.
Oh, I see. Why do you do it into the back loop?
So if you went under both of them, you would just end up with straight double crochets.
Oh,
it's
but that's
going
what gives it
into
that
there.
knit pearl look.
Exactly, gives it that ribbed kind of look.
And that's a smaller hook.
And that's with a smaller hook.
Right, so whichever hook you've gone up to or down to.
Exactly.
Go smaller.
One smaller for the edging.
Yeah.
So I've got to the top, chain one.
So a three, if you've used a 4, is 3.
Like me,
Yeah.
it's a 3.
Right.
Okay, and then I'll just
Lovely.
show you go all the way back down. So 1 into every one. And then when you get to the base of it, so I've done my 5th, make sure you're working the back loop. Whoops, lost it there. You then find the bottom of your sleeve or your edge of your jumper, skip a stitch and put a slip stitch in the next stitch. So you must skip a stitch.
Because
on the
you've gone
base.
up and down.
Exactly.
That's, you've almost done that
Yes.
bit.
If you don't skip it, it'll look like a mermaid tail. I speak from experience.
Yeah.
So make sure you skip one.
It's a lovely finish, isn't it? It's really
It really
nice.
finishes it nicely, I think. And it's a little bit fiddly to start with, but before you know it, you're whisked round the whole jumper. So don't be put off by it because it's
Yeah.
a really fun way to edge it.
It's lovely. Everyone is going to say, where'd you get this jumper? Honestly, you
Definitely.
lot who have managed to buy this, lucky you. Everyone is going to, you need to crack on with it. Please send us photos of what you've done and what they
yes.
look like. Put them on the Yarn Lane fan page. If you're not a member of the Yarn Lane fan page, then join. Because
Brilliant.
I love seeing what you all comment on.
too.
Anyway, Sam, that was brilliant.
Oh, good.
That was brilliant.
Good.
We will have to do them again, won't
Yeah,
we?
definitely.
We will after the show.
That'd
We'll have
be
a
great.
think about what date we can get Sam back, and we will get more kits. Maybe we'll do different colours.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Yeah.
I'd love to choose different
Just
colours.
let's have
Yeah,
4 different ones.
definitely.
We'll have her back. So Sam, when are you back?
The 17th in 2 weeks' time.
Whoa, it's not long, is
Not
it?
long, no.
We've had a message off Ruth. She said, "Thank you, Sam, for lovely demonstrations. I'm looking forward to
Ooh.
making the black retro
That sounds
one."
great. Can't wait to see it,
Yeah, no,
Ruth.
do send us pictures. Yeah, so
Yeah.
Sam will be back with us on the 17th, but we will have a chat about jumpers and more colours.
Definitely.
So I was going to have a recap on the kits, but we won't because we've nothing to recap.
Oh, gosh.
But have a look on the website because we've got lots of other kits. We have got some more kits from Sam we've done in previous shows that's still
Yeah.
on the website. If you want to, if you want to buy a crochet kit, you've been inspired by this, you want to do something else, we've got a whole kit section and we've split them. In fact, I put some more categories in there the other day because there weren't enough categories. We've now got a tatting category
Lovely.
and needle punching category.
Brilliant. Oh, gosh, yes.
the
Yeah, that's what I was
the
doing
kits
last
in there
time.
are from Sam, and they were in needle felting because we didn't have the right category. Look at that. So we've got new categories of kits now, which is lovely. So if you've been inspired by that, we've got books on the website for Granny Squares.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Yes, so on Friday, which is the next Yarn Lane, we've got a kit roundup. So I've gone through the kits that I think have been most popular, that we've got a few left of. The tatting that we did on Monday was massively popular. I know a few of you missed out. So on Friday, we've got a really nice kit roundup. John's going to be with us then. So I spent this morning sorting them all out. So he's got all the samples, all the kits, so he knows what he's talking about. That's going to be great. Sewing Street's back tomorrow at 8. Who's on tomorrow? Vix is back tomorrow on Sewing Street, so join us then. And Yarn Lane, they won't be back till Friday. And then Saturday it's on as well. And Saturday we've got Anna Nikopolovic, who's doing crocheted socks and shawls. It's a bit of There's so much. Honestly, we've got some really, really exciting. But join the Facebook page and the great thing, when you join, I get to approve you, and it's really nice to see because we ask you whether you're a knitter or crochet and hear how you've heard about us. And then it's a really nice place. Sam always posts in there.
I do.
And you always say what you're doing,
Yeah,
don't you?
yeah, and I love seeing what people
And
have been
then
doing.
people ask her questions, and it's lovely. Sometimes you see people saying, "Oh, you crochets out there, I don't know what to do about."
Yeah,
And people
it's a
are
really nice
fantastic, aren't
group.
they?
It is lovely.
They're always
Yeah.
really supportive. So do join our fan page. You can follow, there you are, there's the graphic, Yarn Lane TV, and Instagram at Yarn Lane TV. But it's a very growing community, and they're all really helpful. And it's lovely that, it's really nice, the suggestions as well, that we've had people who have said, can you do this? Can we do that? And so I thought, oh, okay, let's have a go. I'm looking at machine knitting. That's my latest thing. I'm looking at machine knitting. So if you're interested in machine knitting, message us. Message us on the fan page because I'd love to know what you like because that's what I'm looking for at the moment. So we will see you on Yarn Lane on Friday, but thank you for joining us today.